see the boss?
And it's gone.
This is Pacific Cell 2. I'm Spud, and this absolute monster is Bob, a mercenary so broken he turns every boss fight into a loading screen. My critical damage bonus pretty good. We will finish him now. Yeah, that was the hardest PINACLE boss in a ritual. We'll go skill by skill, combo by combo, into gear, passives and everything you can ever need to have loads of fun in Pacific Cell 2. We will test everything against almost fully leveled bosses. So I haven't just got to Arbiter of Ash yet, but I'm completely melted all tiered bosses. We definitely can clear all the content with this build. And let's go straight into the map. Oh, these bugs attack me, and they're gone. Do you see these monsters?
It's gone. It's all gone.
And they gone too. Basically, what we need in Pacific Cell, especially Pacific Cell 2, we need something that can erase screens and also melt bosses. We want to be efficient in clearing maps, so we want to move fast, but also I don't like high effort mapping, and everyone who plays more than one map in endgame don't like it too. Because when you go into the screens and monsters mostly the same, they got no challenge, doing long combinations is something you kind of want to avoid. But versus bosses, I want fights, I want cool fights, and I want to make combos, and I want these combinations to be rewarding. And that's basically what we got over here on the screen right now. The guy who can erase bosses, but we need to make really nice and correct combination to do it. And the guy who deletes screens. We basically erase screens, most monsters will be deleted off screen, and all I'm doing right now is just walking and holding one button. Yeah, that's how it works. And to make any build work in Pacific Cell 2, we just need to optimize and adjust our skills. So that's our most and single important skill that will determine how fast we can clear. It's called galvanic shards. It's ammunition, projectile, lightning, chaining damage skill, so it can scale with all the stacks, and on the surface it got pretty low DPS. Attack damage is just 30%, but really high attack speed. That's the big one. What you need to know that it fires 6 fragments per shot. This means this 30% attack damage is in reality pretty big amount, since it's 180 attack damage if we stand in a close range. Multiple fragments can hit the same target. That's basically a shotgun. The closer you stay, the more damage we will unleash upon our target. But that's not it. When these fragments hit targets, they summon beams. And these beams doing 150 damage right now at level 19, and they converting all physical damage to lightning damage. That's crazy. It's crazy how powerful it is. Ammunition is pretty limited, however. We got just 5 balls per clip and 50 less reload speed. So we're loading this gun pretty slowly, but if we augment quality on the skill, we'll get +2 balls. And that's honestly everything we need. Just look at this. We hold button, it shoots, and what I want to always move closely to enemies. The guys you just saw got proximal tangibility. Basically, I can attack them only from the close range, and that's where our build shines. We can stand in a long range, in safety, basically shoot off screen, and this laser beams chain between enemies and will clear everyone. If we see someone with proximal tangibility, we just come close and destroy them with a shotgun like this. Goodbye, Mr. Zombie. So their skill just erases everyone. It's pretty cool, it's fun to use, but only with correct socket. Right now, that's the 5-socket setup I'm using in end game. It's lightning infusion. Again, pretty simple. We're doing only physical and lightning damage. That's it. We're not scaling with anything else. We just need extra lightning damage on top of normal shards, and that's it. Then, conduction. More chances to shock. Basically, game works extremely simple. When you deal lightning damage, you will have chance to shock. This will amplify these chances to shock, and this will be needed for our second complementary skill, clear screens basically. But the most broken part is fork, of course. Fork will completely melt everyone, because projectiles will fire at enemies, they will fork, they will basically bounce off them, they will deal damage to next enemies, and while forked projectiles will deal less damage, I guess it's not counting beams, laser beams, and they completely melt everyone. So this combination will just work extremely simple and cool, but then we need some quality of life for this skill. So with this setup, skill will work, but to run faster, to have less problems, I use mobility. It gives me just less penalty when using this skill. It's extremely useful and cool. And last but not least, nimble reload. I'm basically counter problems of this skill. Now I have more reload speed. This means basically whenever we need to reload, it done like that, just 0.2 seconds and we reload it. And And that's kind of like the biggest problem with crossbows and stuff. For example, if you're going and trying to play with combination rounds and you need to shoot, for example, ice bullets, then fire bullets to blow them up, it takes so much time. Just look at the crossbow. To use another skill, I need to spend almost a second to reload. But right now my reload is pretty fast thanks to passive skill tree and some gems, but there's a bunch of secrets too. And probably it's not a big secret why we need this extra chance to shock and how it will amplify our screen clearing. So as you can see, screens clearing pretty fast. Also, this build is pretty tanky, that's what I really like, but more on that later. For now, we're clearing screens of course with combination with Herald of Thunder. So Herald of Thunder is extremely good and it basically doubles our damage. That's it, you don't need to know more. Whenever you kill shocked enemies, you will get buff, and this buff will activate on next hit. The next hit I make, target takes 100 physical damage converted to lightning damage. Bolt got some damage. Basically, it's just kinda double damage from our attack damage. This extra lightning on top just melts everyone who is on the screen, erases them completely. Support's gem to make this skill work is Innervate, since Herald will finish enemies from time to time, and we will get 35 of damage as lightning damage on top. It just snowballs. We destroy first enemies, they shocked, we got this Herald of Thunder active, next enemy is destroyed by Herald of Thunder, and our damage just multiplied. For next 5 seconds when we destroy next enemies, and basically we snowball with a lot of extra damage on top while we're just rolling on the map. The next one is Magnified Effect. This Herald got area of effect, and it's pretty small, but given its 30% more area of effect, gives ability to clear down some small guys. Therefore, we will get extra damage on top from Innervate, and so on and so on. Really useful stuff. Honestly, that's everything we need, but with our build, we get some chances to blind targets. So my last gem is Blind Sight on Herald, and we just have more critical damage bonus against blinded enemies and more critical hit chance. That's it. And that's how screen clear works, basically. So just 2 skills, just 1 button, and screen erased. Now, what's with bosses? What's with really strong enemies? And that's where the beauty of the build comes from. If we use this shotgun against basic enemies, what's up, Mr. Krabs? Anyway, against bosses we will use machine gun. Yeah, machine gun, just like that. But as you can see, we're doing just not even mediocre damage. We're doing laughable damage with this machine gun. It just can't deal any damage to enemies, right? Well, yeah, you saw it's completely not true. So what's the secret versus bosses? The secret is in combination. The smart combining and few skills that will multiply our damage like to the moon. The first and most important skill versus bosses is Shock Burst rounds. It got same properties basically, area of effect, ammunition, projectile, lightning, so it scales with technically everything we need, but it's a payoff skill. If you don't know what is payoff, it's really important tech in Pass of Exile 2. They have powerful effects when hit enemies, with specific debuffs, sometimes they consuming debuff, but they cannot inflict debuff they interact with. And Shock Burst rounds interact with shock, of course. I guess it's pretty obvious. So how it works? Basically, normally it converts 40% of physical damage to lightning damage, and that's what you saw on the screen, with really high attack speed, by the way. They got insanely laughable damage, just 30% with 1 bullet. But if target shocked, instead of just hitting target, it will release pulse for 130 damage, with 100 conversion to lightning damage with radius, basically its area of effect, and we got 19 bolts loaded per clip, augmented with +4 from quality, so I got 23 right now. That's kinda the secret. If target not shocked, we deal no damage. If target is shocked, we basically one-shot everyone who is shocked. Look at his health right now. I need to come close a little bit, and he's basically like deleted with 1 bullet, and that was just 1 bullet. So let's go to boss and I will show you this combination in action. So who's the boss over here? Oh, I never saw this guy before. I mean, I saw him in Sehemas, but whatever. So he's shocked, and now we attack. As you can see, we're dealing a bunch of damage, and now we didn't no damage at all, like no damage. So we need to come close, we need to shock this target. When he's shocked, that's where the magic begins. But damage is still not melting him, you know, he is pretty like protected. First of all, he got lightning resistance, so he is resistant to all our our damage types, that's why it's easy to demonstrate stuff on him, but even such a tough guy can be defeated with full combination. And look at our full combination. We hit, we stuff the stuff, we do bolts, and he's starting to like take millions of damage per hit from time to time. That's basically how it works. Fully protected boss. How it works? Well, let's go into next map, and while I'm clearing towards the boss, let me explain what support gems we get on our main ability to delete bosses. So shock burst rounds just need to scale as much damage as possible, and I probably squeezed every more damage support gem possible. Basically, if something says it increasing damage, it will apply to the base damage type, and it will just add a little bit of percentage. But if something says it deals more damage, it will be applied after initial calculations, and this exponentially increases our damage. So shock burst rounds augmented with concentrated effect first. Support skills deal 30% more area damage. Since our main damage source is area damage on the skill, it's basically self-explanatory and pretty smart gem to use. Then it's lightning damage, therefore elemental focus is one gem we want to use. Elemental focus will just give us more elemental damage, that's it. And we're dealing 100% elemental damage. That's just most obvious gem you can put on it. As well as primal ornament. Supported skill deals 25% more weapon elemental damage, and that works exactly the same. Basically 25% more on top. So in combination of these three, we already got plus 80% more damage. But that's not it. The next one is fresh clip. So that's a cool one. It supports only crossbow skills, and it will deal 1% more damage each bolt reloaded by that skill in past 6 seconds. And there's a big secret with this fresh clip actually, that I will explain right when we arrive to the boss fight. But last one is deliberation. So deliberation is also insanely cool. We deal 20% more damage on top, but movement speed will be slower. It doesn't matter because we don't need high movement speed against bosses. And this combination in total will give us around 150 or even more extra damage multiplied. That's insane, and that's how we melt bosses. The problem, but you saw this sneaky laser. This bazooka shot. Look, this bazooka shot is insane, and it will completely change how bosses melt. It will just erase them from the screen, with the help of our shock burst rounds, of course. So let's take a look at Plasma Blast. That's our next skill in combination to defeat bosses. Plasma Blast is pretty cool. It takes so much time to load. I tried to level up with some attack speed. It doesn't work, or it's almost not noticeable. Basically, Plasma Blast is projectile and attack damage. Take a look at this attack damage. I can't even pronounce this number. It's like 3k146. It's insane. Insane how much damage we do, with more chances to shock. And again, when you deal lightning damage, it kinda already shocks enemies if it's high enough, and this lightning damage is pretty high enough. It also got explosion, so if someone stands near the wall, like bosses near the wall, it also will deal extra 1000 on top. That's crazy. And it got only one loaded bolt per clip. So idea of this skill is pretty simple and straightforward. We just want to hit the target and make sure he is shocked. That's it. When we run with our shotgun, we hit, it's not guaranteed shock, but this one will guarantee our shock, and it will be lasting shock. Pretty good one. Let's go straight to support skills. It's Ambrosia. So technically with this build we don't using a lot of skills. We don't use our mana, we don't care about mana flasks. Therefore Ambrosia is a smart choice. It will consume mana flasks, but will deal 3% extra of extra lightning damage. Therefore it will increase our chances to shock and also just deal extra and more damage. Next one is lasting shock. Again, that's the key basically to our combination. When we're fighting guys on the maps, we want to use galvanic shards to blast them with our shotgun ability. Against bosses we will just cycle with shock burst rounds and plasma blast. We use plasma blast, it will inflict shock for insane duration, and we can unload our shock burst rounds at our enemy, at our boss, and then cycle back to plasma blast shot again. And idea again is simple. We need to make sure we hit and we deal this shock condition. Therefore execrate, while it gives us 8% cooldown, we have 100% more chances to inflict ailments, basically shock ailment. But not only it, there's a bunch of secrets also in my sleeve. And that's again self-explanatory. We want to inflict shock with this skill. And last but not least, how shock works. Basically, if you check, shock just increases damage target will take. 20% damage by default. My shock actually increases this damage by 44%. So all this multiplied damage on low shock boost rounds will be multiplied by shock and will deal more and more damage. That's why basically how we snowball our damage with this build, but we can snowball it even further with lightning exposure. Yeah, lightning exposure for 8 seconds, and that's extra 20% more damage basically because it lowers resistance of enemy to lightning damage. So the secret to make full combination. You already know that as much bolts we load to our shock burst rounds, more damage we will make. So the first secret is to actually switch your ammo and then unload bolts until we will have just one bolt left, so it's not auto reload the crossbow. Then one of the biggest problems is actually ability to change rounds, and it takes so much time. So the real secret to do it fast is to have 2 crossbows. We need one for the main skills and one for plasma blast, for our bazooka basically. I will explain what stats to have in the gear section of this video, but for now, one more skill, emergency reload. It just loads more bolts. It fully reloads your current ammo and gives buff for 6 seconds, which gives 30% more damage. I guess you know where it's going. Ingenuity gives cooldown recovery rate, so we can use it more often. Premeditation deals 15% more damage to our reloaded rounds. And Murderous Intent will have Calling Strike. It's useful against elites sometime, but whatever. Basically what we need is Premeditation most. So idea is simple. We go to boss fight, we make our combination. And combination is pretty simple. It's just shoot Plasma Blast, then switch to Shock Burst rounds. 1 bullet, we instantly reload 23 armor pieces. So we get 23% more damage. We shoot them almost fully, and then by the end we use emergency reload, so we can get this buff on top, and basically we load it around 50 more bullets, so around 50% more damage for next few seconds. That's basically how we scale. So look at full combination in action. I instantly load my Plasma Blast, I shoot, and I unload with extra clip, and he is basically deleted. That's it. So that's basically how we delete these guys. And yeah, of course it's not it. We will push it way further. So to push it way further, we get a bunch of skill slots left. Let's quickly go over them. First of all, we get War Banner. War Banner is pretty good. It just gets some charges, and we will use them only on bosses. Press on it, we place a banner, and banner gives us more attack damage. That's it. Normally it gives 6% more attack damage, but we will have 50 charges on it. So actually it's around 50% more attack damage at full charges. And support gems is simple. I just use some support gems that I can afford with my spirit, and its persistence for more effect duration. It doesn't affect basically our spirit, and precision just to increase accuracy. That's it. Overwhelming presence. While active, enemies around will be more vulnerable to stun and elemental ailments, to shock basically, and other stuff. Here just basic buffs that we can afford. Herbalism, increase recovery from life flasks, very useful. Cannibalism, we recover life on kill, very useful too, to survive and sustain on maps basically without consuming loads of potions and lotions. And clarity to increase mana regeneration, because who cares basically, why not, we can afford it. Then Wind Dancer. Wind Dancer is insane for survival. It increases our evasion, but when someone hits us, it will blind them, it will push them out, and we will have more stun threshold while using the skill. So basically, like this support gems, Blind, Wind Wave, and Unbreakable is really useful. And last, like super cool new buff, Trinity. It got nerfed a little bit, but still it's pretty cool. So basically, whenever we deal elemental damage, it gets stacks and gives us more damage of this type per stack. We're dealing lightning damage, so we're dealing loads of extra lightning damage thanks to Trinity. And support gems is just Lightning Mastery, Cold, and Fire Mastery to increase its level. As you can see, not all skills is high level enough because stat requirements are really strict for this. So we got all our main skills at level 19, level 20, basically all skills that is possible to level up easily, that uses strength and dexterity, but the skills is using strength, it uses dexterity. We don't have high enough strength and dexterity. Basically, my character is at 148 dexterity, 47 intelligence, and 136 strength. That's basically what you need to run this build. So I guess let's go and check full combination against boss. Again, full combination. We unload all blast rounds as possible, switch into second crossbow, load our bazooka, and we're going in. Unload bazooka, push out banner, plasma blast, and start unloading. Sadly, he wasn't really shocked, so I need to switch and basically melt him with my million DPS right now. He also was lightning resistant, so basically we're destroying him 2 times slower than normally we could. And yeah, drops is a lot better this time. They actually fixed them. And talking about drops, by the way, let's talk about our gear. What we got here? Crossbow. Basically that's the crossbow you're looking for. We're looking for increased physical damage. It should be pretty high. 150% is okay-ish, is pretty good. The next one is some sort of elemental damage. It could be lightning to just increase our overall damage, but I got fire here. So while fire is not optimal, it will kinda lower our damage output on maps. Actually, it's insanely cool, because with high enough fire damage, when we unload Plasma Blast, bazooka basically, it can hit for like 1 million, 1.5 million damage in one hit easily. And this will activate Ignite, and Ignite is based on our initial hit. It will be 20% of initial hit for 4 seconds. If you hit 1 million with Plasma Blast and you get high enough fire damage and you can ignite your target, you will deal extra 1 million on top. That's how broken it is. And last part over here, I really like this increased elemental damage with attacks. So while because you can actually buy these crossbows extremely cheap if they not fully upgraded, because it's not calculated in checkers. So we can check over here and we see DPS is 700 DPS right now, so that's really good crossbow. But in reality, this increased elemental damage with attacks is not calculated over here. And when guys trying to sell these bows, they just ignore the stat at all. They just, oh, okay, 100 elemental damage. But if we just search by DPS, this crossbow probably I don't know, 40 exalts. So you can buy it right now for 40 exalts, something like this, and that's probably one of the best crossbows in the game. Because if we add elemental damage with attacks, it goes to loads of divines already. If you got extra fire damage on top, I don't know, that's probably one of the best crossbows in the game right now. And I don't buy my gear if you trying to tell me that, oh, this build is so costly. No, I never buy my gear. I like to craft my gear myself, so I always craft, and craft video coming soon. Make sure to leave a comment if you like next iteration of my crafting video. The last with Monk was really good. This one will be even better. I will do a crafting session. I already got bunch of bases, and this season it's a lot easier to get crossbows like this. And second crossbow is basically the same, just increased physical damage, increased elemental damage, and I ran with this one as my main before I got this one. What you're looking on rings, you can increase your damage a lot. On rings, on every piece of gear, I'm looking for maximum life, I'm looking for lightning damage, and lightning damage to attack. So that's why this ring got this stats, so this one is not. Again, I'm playing solo self-found. I can't get the best gear, but what I'm looking also on gear is strength and dexterity. We don't have full ability to get loads of attributes with this build, so we need these attributes on basically all slots possible. Another really important part, we need at least 30 spirit. The spirit comes from my amulet right now, but it can be from your armor also. And all gear is strength/dexterity, but you can get only strength, only dexterity, helmet, gloves and boots in case you need to. Basic idea is to have maximum life on all parts, and you can hear or read that life sucks. Yeah, technically it is, but if you got 2.6, around 3k life, and you can easily get it with nice mods on basically all pieces of gear. And I even got runes for maximum life over here, and I got nice, very good resistances. So basically that's my hero. I got 2.7k life, I got all resistances kept, and I got 140 spirit total. So that's everything we need. You may ask how we got so much buffs with so less spirit. That's because we are playing Tactician, and Tactician comes with this extra spirit on top, and persistent buffs gives us less reservation. Basically all buffs halved. Normally to run this build you need 300 spirit, but for me it's just 140. And also with mixed gear it's really hard to get really high numbers in armor or evasion, but we don't need them because as Tactician again we got increased armor and evasion rating, yada, and this stay light use cover. We defend with 200% of armor. Basically if our armor at 50%, it's technically at maximum. It's technically at 90%. And enemies have accuracy penalty against you based on distance. It helps our evasion. Maximum chance to evade will be capped at 50%, and maximum armor will be capped at 50%. So we don't need 90% armor or evasion, we just need to cap it to 50, and it's really easy to do with this build. build, so I got basically maxed out my defenses. And yeah, it's a lot better to have like 10k energy shield. It's a lot easier kinda to get it. But this also works. I'm running most hard maps versus most hard bosses and I'm fine. I'm not being one-shotted. Probably I will against tier 4 pinnacle bosses, but we'll see. Because I got a bunch of bridge stones, we'll go to bridge. And while we're going to bridge, let's see how we can perform. We're going into projectile damage, and what's really important is that we get 2 weapon sets and we can switch few roles. Main weapon set requires a lot of survival. Therefore, I went to this left part, so red arrow is weapon set 1, used for clearing, and we got increased armor and evasion. This really helps us to hit the cap. The next weapon is used only for combinations. So for this set, I'm using this weapon swap speed over here, right from the get-go, basically from our tactician. We swap weapons a lot faster and it's a lot cooler. Then, when we're running around, we want to run faster to clear monsters, increased movement speed when we kill recently, very useful. But with our bazooka, we want to inflict ailments, therefore more damage to projectile and increased chance to inflict ailments. That's for bazooka set. So while bazooka can damage pretty hard with critical hits especially, I got this bottom part of crossbow only for weapon set 1, just to run around and deal critical damage and basically one-shot monsters and clear and erase screens. And that's basically how it looks like. We got loads of stats to the top right, and technically I'm taking all critical hit nodes. So this critical hit's taken, this critical hit's taken, and this critical hit's taken. But if you're just leveling, maybe you're watching this video, you're level like 50 right now, you're just going to the maps. How you really want to like level up and progress is to take this crossbow, all crossbow, take this like two-handed damage, it gives us a lot of damage, and then go only traveling nodes. Just go and pick stats. With better stats you will pick better gear faster, and you basically will be a lot beefier, a lot more survival, and you will get better crossbows. And then you will just allocate nodes among this path. And first of all, allocate into skill speed, movement speed, basically to attack damage and movement speed over here, chance to maim on hit. This magnitude of shock really helps early, especially versus bosses, and increased shock duration, very good. Elemental damage with attacks, and this lightning damage part over here, and elemental damage. So basically we're increasing our flat damage. Before you reach extremely good crossbow, it doesn't matter if you have insanely high critical hit chance, critical hit damage, it doesn't matter. You can go over here just to get plus 10 strength and 10 intelligence in case you need it, but again, focus on flat damage and stats. And then when you reach like level 80 plus, that's where you start allocating critical hit nodes and just snowball out of here. Because if you wanna check, my critical damage bonus is 750%. That's pretty good. Okay, let's see how we can perform against bridge boss and other guys. This is leveled bridge already, so it will be like harder than first few. But again, we are pretty tanky, we can stand in a distance in case we need like some protection and making sure we can survive. But I'm not worrying a lot, I'm just going straight, sometime wiggling left and right. But bridge again is not a problem, with this build. Already got my banner, so we will have some nice damage against boss. Checkpoint, something new. I haven't played bridge on this patch yet. Okay, I guess we're ready. Crossbow loaded, and I just need to shock him, and he's shocked. Okay, jeez, the stupid hand, I need to wait. This probably can one-shot me, but I'm not sure. Okay, melting, stunning, and he will be done. And I like this ability to stun. We're stunning him so hard. And yeah, that's the juicy. That's juicy how we destroy this bro when he's stunned. Where are you running? Shock, and I guess it's time to finish you, Mr. Bridge Boss. Yeah. So that was tier 2, let's try next tier. And yeah, I also got 2 audience with the king, so he is my next target. Okay, this one is basically hardest. Let's see. I hope we shock and ignite instantly. Come on. Yeah, just shock and expose, but that's fine. You see, I can survive. I don't know, you don't need more health. And no matter how much health you have, you will be one-shotted by some like pinnacle abilities anyway. And damage in this banner area, it's just so good. Okay, I need to get away. Oh my goodness. Again, who cares? I'm fine. He's just too fast. I can't use my plasma blast. I need to use this shotgun, but shotgun is fine. Ah, come on. Please. Just get shocked again. Stupid. Stupid crap. Okay, shock please, and let's finish him off. Where is my critical strikes? Where is my critical strikes? Bro, why are you so hard? Okay, anyway, he is... he almost done, but... now he's done, I guess. Oh my goodness, stupid crap. Why are you going under the surface? Anyway, I guess well deserved. So, let's just valid for fun, since who cares? I guess no one. What will happen with my hands of wisdom and action? And nothing happened. Oh yeah, I should use... oh no! And we got 2 sockets! Okay. This reminds me of this bro who last season asked me to vault fewer like amulets for him, and I vault like the best possible outcome. We turned like 10 exiles into 200 divine orbs or something like this. Yeah, this was fun. This can be, by the way, probably pretty fun for Monk with 2 rage on melee hit. And I guess let's test this new furtive wraps against Audius with the King. They're not really cool, that's like what good about this build. Basically we don't need any uniques whatsoever, we just need some good items, normal items. Because with Hands of Wisdom and Action I got lower lightning resistance, less health, but I hope it will be enough to destroy our lovely King of Mist. I like the start, I like the start. We're dealing some damage. No, you won't hit me, bro. Arena? Oh no, we're hit the cooldown. Shock. I'm seen. That's not really a best solution. But I guess damage is fine. Yeah, it's like completely fine. Oh, frogs, they're so beautiful. Oh, whoa, stupid frogs. And we get ingenuity, by the way. We get ingenuity, but it's bad this season. Still, I like to have nice and cool ingenuity. And I guess let's have some fun. Omen of Corruption and for all orb on our newly acquired ingenuity belt. What happened, I don't know. Probably it became a lot worse. But who cares? Can we actually become stronger with it? I guess we can, but look at my utility belt. It got chaos resistance, lightning resistance, 130 maximum life. So this one is good for a little bit of damage bump, but not really good. We'll go into my collection. Okay, only one attempt. I missed, jeez. It's bad to miss with our cannon. It probably will take a while, this fight, but let's see. Yeah, there's no exposure, so I'm just doing some ignitions and shocks. I guess I need to destroy this effigy. Effigy destroyed. Now your time. And... come on. Yeah, this guy is tough. Okay, I see. I guess that's the time. That's the time when we load our cannon. And... come on. I messed the buttons. Okay. Haven't played in a while on controller. But whatever. It's so fun. Again, build is cool. We're just surviving. We're destroying this effigy. Come on. Get shocked. And now... bam, bam, bam. Destroyed. Come on, we are seen. Now it's cannon time. And bam bam! Bazooka in your face, bro. Your effigy won't save you. Where are you? Where are you running? Are you running from me, bro? Effigy won't stay. Stupid frogs. I remember they are so dangerous, actually. Oh, when you're... finally. I will stay. Don't worry. Don't worry, my friend. Just teleport me. And we continue our journey. Why he takes so long? Anyway. That's how boss fights should look like. Actually. It's a lot more fun than just destroying him in one combination as Monk. Nice. Now we got a combination going on. Now we got a combo. Now we got a DPS. Okay, but it's a little bit dangerous and so much obstacles. So much obstacles. At least I can shoot through tornado. Okay, shocked. Nice. I'm basically like going skill 1, skill 2. Shock will go off right now, so probably I need to load cannon. And yeah, that's the time. That's the time. Damn! What? Yeah, that's what we're going to. Okay, he asked me to stop. I will for a second. But we will finish him now. Yeah, that was the hardest Pinnacle boss in Ritual. I hope you enjoyed this build and you will have blast trying it in POE2 too. Make sure to watch other cool videos on the screen right now and see you legends.